Just finished, just did it. Less than 7 hours. Feeling good, but limping along the way. How do you feel?
Tired. The experience was awesome.
Yeah, it's all worth it.
Yep, fantastic.
Hey everyone, the day finally came to do the Bataan Memorial Death March. The thing that my dad and I have been training for months. I wanted to just break down, how it went, how I felt about it. For anyone that's interested in doing it in the future, maybe this will give you some perspective on what to expect. So first of all, Bataan was really important to me for a number of reasons, but one was the fact that I was doing it with my dad. That made it very special alone. Him and I are always pushing each other and challenging each other to try new things and take on new challenges, and I think the fact that we were able to do this one together was really special. Bataan was really important for me too because I started seriously training for it right around the new year. Made a lot of significant changes in my life. I completely switched up my diet. I created a training schedule that I stuck to. I did not drink at all. Yeah, I just wanted to live a regimented and healthy lifestyle. I started stretching every day, and it was just nice to stick to the schedule, the training schedule. So yeah, I think overall it was just a transformative experience, not just the race itself, but leading up to it, the training, and basically just getting my life back on track in terms of health and wellness. Now let's dive into it. So I left San Diego on Thursday evening before the race and got there, woke up early Friday morning to kind of get used to waking up because we were going to have to be on the base at like 4 a.m. on Saturday. Yes, we showed up there, went to the base, got our bibs and everything checked in, and they kind of just let you tour around the base, which was nice. We got to go into all these museums and see things, and we got to see a bunch of decommissioned missiles all over the base. They also had a lot of facts about Bataan and what it's about, which was cool, but also, pretty devastating to see. That night, they also had a pasta dinner. And if you give me some rotini with some red sauce and you put a whole tray in front of me, I'm gonna be pretty happy. So I ended up going to bed at like 8:30 or 9, woke up at like 2:45, 3 o'clock in the morning, got to the base, and funnily enough, everyone told us prior, oh yeah, you guys should get there early, traffic is gonna be insane, which I'm sure it was at one point, but we left the hotel at like 3:30, got to the base at 4, and went right in. We had 2 hours to kill of just laying in the car on this base. At 4 in the morning, I had to go to the bathroom like 2 or 3 times prior to lining up to the line, and the lines for the porta potties are pretty long. They provide a lot of porta potties, but the lines get pretty long. So just be prepared for that beforehand. So our gear, we kept it pretty simple. We carried all the food in our bags, obviously, to be donated at the end, but we had some honey stinger waffles, some honey stinger gels, some energy chews. The actual race, it was pretty cool. You start at sunrise and, they had a moment of silence and they play the national anthem. You're around all these people in uniform. You've been training for this for months. I was there with my dad, and it's just one of those moments where everything hits at once. So we're in the civilian heavy division. So we started second to last. And I would say the first like 6-7 miles, we had a good pace going. We were both just like listening to music or podcasts. The weather was still pretty mild. Not mile 9, mile 10 is when the sand pit happened. A few people we talked to were, I think, a little bit upset because they had changed the course this year and it wasn't just one big loop. It was actually going to be 2 loops, which I think also kind of messed with me mentally a little bit. When you have something that's 2 loops, when you finish the first one, you start to think back on everything you're about to encounter again. And I think that's what got into my head a little bit, especially with like the sand pit and it was heating up and everything. We got to the halfway point, and that was definitely, I would say coming back around to that second loop, I probably made it to mile 14 or 15 and then started to have to walk a little bit. And I think around, 16, 17, that was when my body really started to shut down and I started to walk a lot. But my dad was there to support me. He was like, just take it one step at a time. It's all good. You're gonna finish it. Gonna cut in here and let my dad talk about his experience a little bit.
Hey everybody, just wanted to give you my thoughts on the Bataan Memorial Death March for 2025. Overall, it was a great experience. Weather was good, maybe a little bit on the warm side if I'm being honest. I think by the time we finished at around 1:32 o'clock, temperatures were in the mid to upper 70 range. Wind was blowing a fair amount, but it seems as though based on talking with some other folks that have done that event in the past, that is a common occurrence. Course was a combination of gravel roads, hard packed sand, and then some loose sand, which seemed to go on for about a mile, and they refer to that as the sand pit. Aid stations, in my opinion, they were well stocked, and it was a good supplement to the food that I carried in my pack, which was primarily energy gels and Stroop waffles. So the aid stations had a combination of water, electrolytes, which I believe was primarily Gatorade, and then bananas, oranges, and then at one of the latter aid stations, they even had pickle juice. Yeah, overall, a very good experience, primarily because I got to do the event with my son. I got to see what he was able to push through some pain and adversity, and he didn't quit. And in my opinion, he came out a changed man on the other side. So super proud of him for that. Yeah, just a great event. On a side note, I would highly encourage you to partake in the pasta dinner, which is the night before. That was just, I think it was like $20, $21. All you can eat pasta buffet included like garlic bread, a few other things. But overall, really good. You got to, if you wanted to, provided an opportunity to speak to some of your fellow marchers. So again, overall, it was great. Supported a great cause. So I'm a big fan. I hope to be able to go back to Bataan one of these years. Just an overall great experience.
We got to the 25, 26 mile point, and my dad was like, we have to run to the end. And I was like, of course. At that point, you're so relieved. Like, I didn't feel anything. The pain from my feet went away and my shoulders just in that moment. Just to finish the race, all I wanted to do was just cross that line. And such an emotional moment, and just we were so exhausted. We both just went into the grass, dropped our packs, and just hugged each other and just started crying. That's just what makes it all worth it. People always ask you why do you do these things? Like, you don't have to do these things. And it's like, yeah, obviously you don't have to do these things. The feeling you get when you finish and the sense of accomplishment that you have, and especially when you're doing it with someone that you love and someone you're so close with, that is why. I feel bad for people that don't get that. Overall, I think, if you're thinking about doing it, if you're a marathon runner or you're like me and my dad, you're a father, son, you want to find a challenge to do, I think this is a great one to do. And I think that it's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be tiring. It's going to be hot. It's going to be all these things, but it's all going to be worth it in the end. Make sure you nail your hydration. Make sure you nail your nutrition. Make sure you nail your sleep. I think if you get all these factors right, it's gonna result in a good race. I couldn't have asked for a better person to do it with. My dad pushes me harder than anyone, and he's a great motivator, a great person. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, but if you have any questions, you can always message me, leave a comment, whatever. And stay tuned, because I'll be covering some events in the future. One that I've already done, because I'm filming this video a little bit late, but there will be a video about that soon. So thank you guys for watching, and take care.